lenient sentence for the second time in less than a year. The Solicitor General has confirmed that Judge Julian Hall has had another case referred to the Court of Appeal. Well, in our central London studio is Glasman from the group Women Against Rape. Thanks very much for being with us this lunchtime. What kind of a sentence would you have expected for this crime?
Well, we don't know the exact circumstances of the 17-year-old, and obviously that's different to the 24-year-old man, Keith Fenn, who was given the 2-year sentence last time. But it does seem very lenient that the teenager wasn't given any custodial sentence at all, and it is very serious to abuse children. And we've seen with other serial attackers like Ian Huntley and the Wests that where the perpetrator is allowed to get away with it early on, they go on to commit more serious crimes, even murder. And in fact, Hayley Giblin, who was sexually assaulted by Ian Huntley when she was 11, is still trying to get the assault against her prosecuted, and she's now in her mid-20s.
Well, what we do know of this case is that it refers to a 17-year-old boy who was found guilty of abusing 2 young children, and a 3-year supervision order was imposed, which effectively allowed him to walk free from court. So given, I know it's difficult what we do know, what would you expect under these circumstances?
Well, we would expect some sort of custodial sentence, but the problem is that Judge Hall is still sitting. Why was he not barred from sitting on sexual offence cases after the last time? The problem is that even though the government says that there are policies and there's training in place, there's training for judges, when professionals do not stick to those policies, nobody gets sacked and they seem to have impunity. And we're saying that if professionals are disbarred or sacked for showing prejudice and for negligence, then the others would soon shape up.
Well, this sentencing has now been referred to the Court of Appeal. Are you perhaps encouraged by the fact that there is a system in place to allow for that to happen, where perhaps an unduly lenient sentence is imposed, then therefore it can be reviewed?
Well, it's good that it can be reviewed, but the main problem with sentencing for most victims is that there isn't any sentence at all, that the man is not convicted. And women have been complaining for many years about the police not gathering evidence, about the Crown Prosecution Service not presenting that evidence, and about the jury not hearing the evidence that would reach a conviction. So what's the jury supposed to do in many cases? One woman in our group was raped at 15 by a much older man, and the judge directed the jury to disregard her young age. And that's the kind of prejudice which young victims are encountering in the criminal justice system, some of the most vulnerable victims there are.
OK, Claire Glasman, thank you very much for joining us this lunchtime.
Thank you.
This is Sky News.